There may be explicit language in today's episode. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm still laughing at the intro, sorry.
Yeah, so this is actually the first time we put the new intro on Grass Valley in the studio. So
Yeah.
What intro you guys saw is what we saw. But yeah, Sean Peebles back on the show. It's been a year.
Yeah.
Glad to have
Let's
you back.
go.
How is that possible?
Oh my God,
It,
yeah.
It honestly feels like yesterday.
It sure
that
does.
we interviewed you.
Sure does. But hey, glad to be back. Thanks for another invitation.
Absolutely.
This time we actually dressed like our normal selves and not because I had something to film before the interview.
Oh yeah. That's
Oh yeah, you were all dressed up or something, weren't you?
Yeah, I was filming something because, now I can say it now because I'm going into pro wrestling after I graduate. So now I can talk about it. That was basically I was filming teaser videos for that and stuff, just
Sweet.
having fun.
Film
you know?
some promo.
Didn't really
B-roll.
go the way I wanted it to, but it's all right. Some stuff doesn't stick when you film and stuff. But
Never does.
Yeah, it never does. Speaking of wrestling, I'm going to the AEW show in Pittsburgh next Wednesday. So
Awesome.
yeah, I am not. I'm kind of into not. I'm in the middle, upper bleachers, but I'm in the corner kind of. So not bad seats.
What venue's it at again?
The Pete.
Oh, that's.
EJ will be driving me down because I'm terrified of Oakland.
Oh God, I hate it.
It is fun getting in and out of there.
What's the point of the bus lane? I don't understand. To merge down there. I don't know.
I don't know. I think people know how to merge. They just
People
they
don't know how
just
to merge
go.
in Pittsburgh.
They
They're
see a
just
spot and they're like, I'll
lane,
take that.
Mine.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll do this off camera. If you mess up, then you just got the other person just going.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
I was giving a thumbs up. That's what I was doing.
My friend just posted a video of her dash cam footage on her Snap story yesterday, and someone flat out threw a jug of Turner's tea out their window at her car.
It's a waste of tea.
It's the most Pittsburgh core thing ever, though.
as-
Just the thing of Turner's tea, just.
As my laptop just turned off.
Oh,
boy.
God. That's our
I got
prompter.
it. I got it. Yeah, it's our prompter now. But yeah. So, funny thing of how this show came about. So it was the East Stroudsburg game, Edinburgh East Stroudsburg, and I was talking with our guy Avery Ennis on the sideline. I turn around and I go, "Oh, Sean.
Yep.
How's it going?" They were
That's
"Hey."
amazing.
And I was like, "You want to come back on the show in a few weeks?" And here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, so here we are. But so we actually have some questions about the Cavs season last year, because of course, why wouldn't we? I mean,
Sure. Great. Good opening.
yeah.
Opening part.
But yeah, we'll get to Pitt's blowout win against Youngstown State, though it's not surprising because it's Youngstown State, and then Edinburgh. But yeah, so let's see if I can actually do this because Dom's not here today. So let's see if I know how to do this. So and let's see if I know how to read. So in the regular season, last season, the Cavs went 48-34, and if there's anything statistically wrong, just interrupt me. 26-15 at home and 22-19 away. So very good season last season. So yeah, so we'll just get right into it. But looking at last season, what did you think overall about how the team performed? Was there anything that particularly surprised you? Whether it was a player's breakout moment, a key game, or how the team handled challenges throughout the season?
Well, I mean, the season statistically, yeah. I mean, by the record, it was a good year, and making the playoffs and getting into the second round was obviously good. Injuries, like in sports, they got in the way and prevented them from really giving Boston the series that Boston should have had against Cleveland, because Cleveland for the last couple seasons have actually had Boston's number in the regular season. And you mentioned key breakout moments and fun things from the season. For sure, the one night when Cleveland came storming back against Boston, my guy Dean Wade took over that night. I think he had 20 in the fourth, and was just hitting three after three after three, and Cleveland ended up winning that game. The Max Strus between half and three-quarter shot court buzzer beater against the Mavericks was pretty exciting. a lot of great wins, and obviously focus on the positives. The disappointment, of course, losing to Boston in 5 games, but again, health kind of got in the way of that when you're not, you don't have Donovan Mitchell on the floor and you have Jared Allen on the floor, and just people are beat up, and but obviously that's the beauty of sports, because in a matter of weeks we turn the page and we start fresh and we can make another run at it, and I'm excited because this will be year number 8 for me over there, and it's hard to believe, but I'm excited and I'm ready to go for sure.
Grizzled young vet over here.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, just watching the NBA, because like Alex, I think it's fair. Like I probably watch NBA a little bit more than
A little bit.
a little bit. Well, a lot.
A lot of it. Yeah, you definitely
Tell,
know more than I do.
you should watch. Come on.
I do from time.
But yeah, obviously, like everybody knows, and I always like to mention, I'm a Hawks fan.
Yeah, we know.
We know. Just like Joe, every time I mention like how big I look. Yeah, we get it. You're Jack playing. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. But looking at the Cavs, I like every single time like I was paying attention and everything, I was thinking, I'm like, they're right there. Like it's just like that last time, and like you said, injuries happen, and injuries is what unfortunately happened last year. But I do believe, and you know what, I'm going to say this right now on the show. Like if the Cavs can stay healthy, they can do it. I think they can do it.
My man.
He's calling it.
There we
My
go.
man.
I think
I
they
like
can.
those September predictions.
But like here's the thing though,
Let's
like
go.
you think about who they had, like Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen. I'm blanking on some names.
Darius Garland.
Darius Garland.
Evan Mobley.
Like,
Yeah, there you go.
you got a good starting 5. So like, I don't know. I'm like, I think the Cavs can do it.
And a good bench too. And again, that's one thing that Cleveland really wanted to bolster going into last season, making the additions of George Niang and Max Strus, and they did that. And again, that bench was able to hold their own during some of those stretches during the regular season when Donovan or Darius or Jared or Evan, sometimes all 4 of them were down, and Cleveland was still able to get the wins. So yeah, very excited about this year, especially with all the distractions, if you will, of contracts and extensions and all the other craziness that goes on in the business side of the game out of the way, and now we can just focus on putting the ball in play and winning some games.
Yeah, and speaking of contracts,
I was gonna say that's like perfect timing.
Hey, see? You think I've done this
Perfect timing.
Alex, go ahead.
So, again, we were just talking about this. It's crazy that it's been a year since you were on the show last time. That's wild. But last time you were on here, we talked about the Cavs. One of those things we were talking about was Donovan Mitchell, because his status was unclear, obviously, working on a new contract and everything like that.
Right.
And recently, he signed a 3-year, $150 million contract extension. How important is it to keep such a great player? Wait, one second. Did I misread that question?
No, you're good.
How important is it to keep a great player like Mitchell? Just stats-wise, he performed well. How much of an impact it is to be able to work that out and get that guy. Because when you're in the middle of negotiations, you're distracted. You're you're thinking about that. You're trying to ensure you get security for the future. So now that that's done with and over with, how much does that impact Cleveland?
I mean, it impacts it a lot. I mean, but the beauty of that whole process, if you want to call it that, is that it really wasn't really out in the forefront from Donovan's perspective.
That's always good.
Yeah, there's none of that side nonsense that was going on in regards to his extension. It's like, hey, just deal with it when the time comes. A lot of the stuff that was going on about it were people, on phones and the experts and everything, and he's not gonna extend. He's gonna go to, they're talking about New York for a while, or he's gonna go to Miami or wherever. And obviously he loves being in Cleveland and the core that they've put around him. He knows that they have not just the ability, but they will win. And going back to the health thing, and I mean, there's no question that a guy like that he's an all-star every year. He obviously knows how to fill the stat sheet, and he's just a good teammate, a good community guy, and I know the fans absolutely love him, and I'm one of them. And I'm super excited that he is going to be sticking around for a few more years, because again, it enables more people in free agency and stuff to really gravitate towards joining the Cavaliers when you have a talented, star like Donovan and the players around him like Darius and Jared and Evan and Max and George, and I mean the list goes on, and Karis LeVert. The list goes on and on for the guys that they have they brought in around Donovan. It's a solid team, and I'm very excited to see what they do, not just this year, because not all these guys are locked in long term.
Right.
The window is a little more open now.
Yeah.
For the Cavs for the foreseeable future.
And to kind of interject on that as well, I don't know if it's just like the way that different sports are covered in sports media or anything like that, but I feel like it's a testament to Donovan and guys like him, like you said, to not really. You don't really hear much about that contract thing going on.
Right.
And I feel like when you look at like the NFL, like that's a huge thing. Guys are sitting out,
Holding
guys
out.
are requesting trades, guys are sitting in. Jamar Chase is sitting in, he's playing, but
Right.
he's kind of trying to play to prove that he deserves the extension because we know.
Well, they all
we know
deserve
how
it.
exactly.
I mean, that's.
But I think that's the interesting thing is that it feels like a lot of those guys like Donovan, they're just a lot more focused in like the media. Even everyone's just more focused on the game, and then the NFL, you've got these really dramatic extended holdouts and all of these kind of things. Speaking of which, Brandon Ayuk, you got your money. I swear to God, you've got to start performing for me in fantasy, buddy. You got the money, all right? You got to, please.
Yeah. I mean, another example is Najee Harris. The way
Yeah.
you see him running, like he's running pissed off.
Yeah,
'cause,
he's
like, he
running
wants
really
to.
hard.
And I'll get to that because I was at the game yesterday of some things that I noticed after the play and everything. But yeah, and like to go back to what you said, Sean, about like get it done whenever you get it done. It's kind of what you mentioned when we asked the original question in October last year. Like we asked like, oh, what's the status, or what do you think the status of Donovan Mitchell is? And you mentioned how he was like, oh yeah, they get to it, it's okay, but I'm focused on this season, and like that's basically what happened. So.
Right, and the urgency was there, I think, for a lot of people. You mentioned the media.
Yeah.
I mean, to them, that's the urgency. But I mean, I think to Donovan, it's like, look, I've got a season to get through. I've got my guys to look after. We've got a goal here. That other stuff will take care of itself in due time, and and it did, and now we can rearview mirror and let's look ahead.
Right. But so now looking at the draft, which by the way, of course, I always like to see, even though it was I guess what people call it, a weak draft class, though you don't know how people are going to perform.
Sure.
But I'm also always going to shout out a draft class where somebody from Pitt gets drafted first round.
Yeah.
But shout out Bob Kenny. But looking at the draft, the Cavs took small forward Jalen Tyson out of Cal in the first. How excited are you to see what he can eventually add to the Cavs, and what role do you think he can play for the Cavs in the future?
Well, I mean, again, with the league going the way that it's going, the small ball mentality, I think, it's kind of falling by the wayside a little bit. So teams seem to be bulking up a little bit more in that 3, 4, 5 role on the floor. So adding someone like Jalen to the roster, I think, is going to do big benefits for the long term. He's young, he's athletic, he knows how to play, and he'll fit in very well. Obviously, with us having a new head coach this year, Coach Atkinson. His coaching philosophy and everything is going to be a great fit for Jalen, and he's not going to have a problem fitting in because again, it's an all for one for all type of team that they have formed there in Cleveland, and he's going to be a very important piece of that for many years to come.
Yeah, sorry, Dom just texted me telling me that he won't be here, but yeah, I mean. After every draft, everybody always gets excited. Like, my God, somebody new. Like they could be good. Like it's always exciting. And like obviously, like you look at like the early rounds, you go, oh, these guys are going to be really good. They have a better chance of like performing well. But like,
doesn't always happen that way.
Doesn't? Yeah, exactly. It doesn't. I mean, look at Brock Purdy in the NFL. Was the very last pick, and then he's the best quarterback out of that draft class. But yeah, we won't talk about that. But yeah, so Alex, I believe you got the last question.
Yeah, so obviously every year, this is for those of you that don't understand this, there really is no such thing as tanking in professional sports. While we talk about it in the media, no team is actually ever intentionally maybe every once in a while you'll get a team that is intentionally tanking, but it's never the case. Obviously, every team comes into the season, with goals of winning the championship. They want to go out, they want to win, win the finals, bring the hardware home. So what do you think the Cavs need to do to get over that hump? You talked about, losing to Boston in 5 and all that stuff. There's been some great moments. What's the thing that needs to happen to really just kind of bring it up that extra notch that you need to get there?
I mean, again, it's I hate to keep talking about the injury bug. I mean, and those are some of the things you can't control in sports. You know, when you lose someone for a few games or even the whole season, and you never want to see that happen.
Yeah.
But that obviously comes into play. I mean, there's no question that the talent is there and the support of the community and Cavs fans from all over the world. The support is there, the excitement's there. Now it's just you just have to have the check in the right column, the W or the L. And those that have the most in the finals, that's the winner, and that's where the ring comes. And
right.
So I'm excited. I'm very optimistic and very ready for not just what this season has to bring and the pursuit for another title. And hopefully in the next few years, you never know that they could put a few more banners up for all we know.
Could.
You just never know. But what matters the most to me is the fact that I get a chance to be a part of it every night with the team of people I work alongside over there, be around the guys and the fans and the staff at the field house. And I'm just a couple weeks away from doing just that, and I couldn't be more excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we move on, I do want to mention, so I did start becoming a cameraman for the Erie Wolves in the summer and everything. It's funny. I actually kind of took your advice of what you do before games, so I take a quick 5-minute power nap once I get to the
It works.
parking lot. Oh, it's beautiful.
It is.
It's beautiful.
That's amazing.
And
That's great.
And our last live we did last year when we went live on Edinburgh Now, we actually vlogged it on our vlog channel. We were like, we're taking the Sean Peebles approach. We grabbed a cup of tea before the live.
We did, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we did do that.
Yeah.
We knew we were going to be talking for a while.
It helps.
It
helps.
does.
And since you mentioned the Seawolves, I mean, obviously, congratulations to them on the first round series in the division round and winning game 1, very important game 1 in the Eastern League Championship Series. So all the best to them as they move forward, and they just got to notch one more, and they go back to back. So it's exciting for the organization, exciting for everybody that works there, exciting for the city and the region. So good luck to them the rest of the way, of course. And they've had a nice run. They really have. And,
absolutely.
And Gabe Alvarez has done an incredible job with those guys, and it's going to be. It's going to be fun to see how this one ends, and then make another run at it next year. I mean, the Tigers have definitely done a good job of putting good talent here in the 814, and the Seawolves fans are forever grateful for that. So good luck to the Wolves.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because a few things, actually, now that you mentioned it, with the Seawolves, every time I'm trying to get the shot at somebody at second, Gabe's just right there, right in my way. Yeah. Obviously, there's nothing I can do about it, but it's funny. But yeah, so actually, wouldn't it be 3 in a row? Actually,
well, 3. This is their 3rd appearance in the league championship.
Okay.
They lost 2-1 in 22.
Okay.
Won last year, and now they're 1 win away from going back to back. So, but 3 consecutive seasons in the league championship series is good, especially in the minors. Considering how often staff and players shift around, and to keep that consistency, that all falls on Gabe and his staff in the front office with the Seawolves to keep everybody grounded, and the results have really been remarkable.
Yeah, absolutely, and hopefully they go back to back, so that in my room I have 3 rings, because Jason did give me a ring.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I had the Eastern League Championship ring, and well, I have that. Well, right now I have that one, my fantasy football ring that I won because I won fantasy last year.
You get a ring, you don't get a belt?
I wish I got a belt. Benny, what are you doing? It's not gonna be the only belt I win in the future.
There we go. Goals.
But yeah, that'd be 3 rings. So if that happens, I'll have to before I graduate
do a little photo shoot.
Well, a little
photo op.
Well, I'll have to work a few series in the summer for the Seawolves before I have to eventually move on and start training.
Remember the picture of, was it Bill Russell? I think it was on Sports Illustrated. He had a ring on every one of his hands, and he was just smiling. So hey. Yeah. Keep filling it up.
So for our rapid fire and March Madness challenges, my cousin has a 3D printer, and he 3D printed, and I already broke 2 of the trophies,
they're kind of fragile.
Gold trophies.
Yeah, they are sick though.
So if I find, and he went back to back in rapid fire, so he's been the only winner in rapid fire. If I somehow win this year, I'm gonna take the Kobe Bryant picture. I'm just gonna be sitting there with the trophy, just holding it like this and just staring for it. Just like a bottle of champagne. And I am 20. Disclaimer: I am 21. Just
He
putting that
can
out
do
there.
that.
I can
Yes,
do
you
that.
can.
I can do that.
Crack some bubbly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm bubbly. Just reminded me of Chris Jericho. But yeah, so now it's time for college football. Alex, do you want to start off with Ohio State, or do you want me to get Pitt out
Yeah,
of the way?
no. I can, So Ohio State, I didn't even write down the score actually, but that's all right because I remember what it was. Ohio State played Marshall. Shout out Marshall. 149-14. Quite frankly, Will Howard is like the most boring, exciting quarterback of all time. Can I say that? It's redundant, but like I feel like I can say that because it's really true. Will Howard went 16 for 20 for 275, 2 touchdowns and a pick yesterday. Ran for a touchdown as well. We knew that they were going to have a two-headed monster at running back with Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins, which is really producing dividends right now. But Will Howard, for all the talent that he has, is being exactly what he needs to be for Ohio State. Judkins went 14 for 173 and 2 touchdowns. He had an 83-yard touchdown run, which I believe was like 4th longest run in program history or something like that. Travion was 6 for 76 and 2 touchdowns. Abuka had a really good game, 5 for 117 and a touchdown. Jeremiah Smith caught another touchdown. He had 3 for 70. And got a kind of question topic off this. So
Ooh, okay.
we're going to talk about this.
See if I know what I'm talking
Sean,
about.
I know you're a Cleveland guy, but everyone talks about Columbus in the state of Ohio, so
Sure.
I'll be interested to see what you have to say. So Ohio State typically has a pretty smooth non-conference schedule. They don't really play anyone too crazy most of the time. Usually an FCS opponent of some sort, and then 3 like MAC schools because they're all regional. 4-0. Obviously, it had 4 big wins against smaller time opponents. Conclusion of non-conference. Ohio State's next 3 are tough, actually.
Yeah.
Tougher than most people will give credit to. They're at Michigan State, which is a sneakier opponent than people think. They're home against Iowa, who always has a really stingy defense. And then they're at number 8 Oregon the week after that. So the next 3 are big. This is kind of going to define how their season goes. So coming out of the non-conference portion of their schedule, how real do we think Ohio State really is?
I mean, history has proven, obviously, that they are real.
Yeah.
But college football always has the tendency of, changing the script because of players moving and coaches moving and whatnot. But obviously they have the history and the ability to recruit and do all the right things to continue to reload. So I would safely say I think that they are going to kind of maintain where they're at. I don't really know if they're really going to be slipping up at any point anytime soon.
Yeah, and Ryan Day has some absurd records. Like I don't think he's lost a single game to an unranked opponent in his tenure as Ohio State's head coach. He's like 40-something-0 against unranked opponents.
Yeah.
So obviously he's big time against all the schools that he should beat, which is a great thing. You want a coach who can beat the schools he's supposed to beat.
And Michigan.
Yeah.
That team up north.
Yep.
I need to wash my mouth out now that I actually said their name.
Yeah, and I actually coaxed you into doing it. Unintentionally, of course.
I think that Dom, close your ears. I am really worried about Michigan. I think they're going to be all right this year. I don't think they're going to be great. I am a lot more concerned about Oregon, and they've even had some games that were a little ugly. So I think Ohio State's kind of in the position that they've been waiting for.
Yeah.
And if you're Ryan Day, you have to beat that team up north this year because, quite frankly, they could go 11-1 or 10-2 again this year. But if he loses that football game, he might be out.
So the assessment I'm going to use for this is, you said Michigan State, Iowa, and Oregon?
Oregon, yes. Michigan State and Oregon on the road, Iowa at home, sandwiched in between.
I think they get it done against Michigan State.
Yeah, definitely. Ryan Day has a very good track record against Michigan State.
I think they beat Iowa, but it'll be close.
Yeah, I think if Iowa stops the run, things might be a little problematic.
And I can't see them beating Oregon.
You can't see them beating Oregon? And Eugene is tough.
I think Oregon will get it done. I think
if Oregon wins, they probably win by 6 or less.
Yeah. But that's pretty much the only assessment on Ohio State that I can give is like,
It's going to be tough. I believe they're number 3 in the country right now.
Yeah. But we'll see.
Texas number 1.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Arch Manning, let's go. I can't wait for him to be a Steeler.
Oh, God.
But God,
The things I would do.
Arch Manning getting announced as a Steeler in Pittsburgh, 2026 draft.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That would be absurd.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that draft.
But so before we move on to Pitt, speaking of Pittsburgh, Pirates.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Here we go. I thought we were gonna make it a week without talking.
I did
about
get
him.
a chance to do a game down there.
Really?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago when the Reds were in town. It was the 23rd of August, the Friday night game.
I think I was there.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, Guy Junker, their regular announcer, was in Italy, and they had a few people they were bringing in to let them work the games, and that was the one that I was available to do. So yeah, it was Friday the 23rd.
Who pitched that game?
Shoot.
Was it Skeens?
No, Skeens pitched the night before.
Okay, so that was at the Skeens game.
Yeah.
Okay.
He pitched on because it was a 4-game series against Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm. But so
How about them Bucks?
they're
How about them Bucks?
they're giving Brian Reynolds reps at first base.
Oh, you did mention this to me.
Now listen, if you want to say Reynolds is a liability right now, fine. But putting him at first base, no. If you think he's that much of a liability, cut his reps down in the field, put him in right field, and make him your designated hitter. And then people ask, Mike, then what do you do with Andrew McCutchen? I'm sorry, but who says Kutch needs to be starting? Keep him on the team, first of all. You have to have that energy.
But for how much longer though?
Exactly. My point exact.
I mean, Kutch is, he is probably the best known player to put that uniform on in the last 15 years ish,
absolutely.
maybe more.
Absolutely.
And they keep extending him, and it's obviously great to have him there, but how much longer?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. So,
but I love Kutch.
I love Kutch too, but he's got to be a bench player at this point in his career. I'm sorry, he really has to. But and here's the thing, and I could be right about this, but it also could be a controversial take that I'm about to say. I think the only reason Andrew McCutchen does not win a ring in his career is because of Bob Nutting. Now I know people are going to say, "Oh, but yeah, exactly."
Yeah.
But you did trade him, but at the same time, this is why obviously I'm more upset that they don't, with the rotation that they have, they're not attempting to win. Like they just don't try. But then when I think about it, like, oh my God, Kutch is not going to get a ring because Bob Nutting doesn't try. Then it makes me even more angry. And people go, and I ranted about it last week. They're saying that they're going to bring Derek Sheldon back, which I still think they shouldn't do. But I still think they shouldn't fire Ben Cherington either. I know it's controversial, but you might be taking a chance of this rebuild might have to restart if you start over with a new general manager and you clean house. So, but here's the thing though, you also can make the argument of if you find the right GM, you tell the GM, hey, you're not restarting. It starts right now.
Work with what you got.
Exactly. Work with what you got. So I don't know. But Derek Sheldon should still not be brought back in.
Is this the end of his contract?
He got extended last year.
Oh, that's right. He did extend.
Yeah, but that's all I'm going to say about the Pirates. They're wasting Paul Skeens' the time they have with Paul Skeens. So I don't know. But all right, Pitt football. They're undefeated in the conference for I think it's the first time in 20 years. So I'm going to do what I did with Isaac last year. So Sean, would you like to go ahead and read what the final score was to this game?
That would be the Pitt Panthers 73. Those Penguins of Youngstown State University. That would be 17.
What a game.
What a game.
And I know it's Youngstown State, but still though. Max Blank got in.
Max Blank, shout out the Whippeal kid from Bethel Park, yeah.
Whippeal.
Kid's really
I
tall.
was a Whippeal kid.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Dom, why did you have to not
That's what I'm
come
talking
today?
about.
Yeah, man.
I'm a D10.
It's all about the Whippeal.
I'm a D10 kid.
Back to back. Coach Jennings, Sean Peebles here. Whippeal kids. I almost had to go to the penalty box. I got to watch myself. Oh, God.
But you showed restraint.
I did. I showed restraint. I was cool under pressure. I was calm and collected.
Solid.
There we go.
Solid.
But Eli Holstein. So unfortunately, Eli Holstein's record of 300 passing yards a game is over. However, he
3 touchdowns is still going.
3 touchdowns. He was 16 for 24, 247 with 3 touchdowns.
Ultra efficient. Holy
Once
cow.
again, if he stays at Pitt, he's beating Kenny Pickett's records.
Yeah, he really could.
So Desmond Reed, they didn't really give him that many reps because again, it's against Youngstown State. I don't know if he was healthy or not. I didn't really.
I was gonna say he also gets a lot of touches in the on the field overall.
Yeah.
He returns, he runs the ball. Yeah.
But still, though, the running game was strong. Daniel Carter got the ball 7 times for 109 yards. Sincere Lee got the ball 4 times for 108 yards. And Gavin Bartholomew is still nowhere to be found. Luckily, the offense is better, though.
Barely on the field for some reason.
Gavin, I know you're not watching this, but I love you, bro, but you should have left Pitt.
Yeah, you should have transferred last year.
You should have transferred, man. He's still going to get drafted, but, like, dude, you should have transferred.
I don't even want to think about how much his draft stock is probably going to plummet.
Yeah, because they just don't give him the ball. Like, man, I don't know. But what do you refer college team? Any college team?
For college football?
Yeah.
I'm just a fan of college football.
Ooh, that's fair.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so bye week for Pitt this week, and then they go to North Carolina next week. North Carolina, what the heck?
James Madison?
Yeah, 70 to 50.
Oh my God.
70 to 50.
It was what, 53-21 at halftime, I think.
Yeah.
It was 73 to 15 or something. It was something.
70-50, I think. It was the final score.
Yeah, but the halftime score was.
It was
absurd.
53-21, I think. I think that's
whatever
what
it was. It was absurd.
So I think it's safe to say that Drake May was the heart and soul of that UNC team, which I'm not surprised, obviously. But
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
Pitt, if you don't win this game, I'm sorry.
I still love that New England is like, hey, we know we drafted this guy with the 3rd overall pick, but our offensive line sucks so bad that we don't want to ruin any potential he has.
So, Alex, like you and I.
Oh, God. Speaking of quarterbacks with terrible potential.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
Jesus.
Ignore it. We're not there yet.
Okay, thank God.
So, Alex, so
Put
I've
it
talked to
away.
him about this like so many times since he's known me over the years. Tell me if you've heard this before. Pitts start off hot. They're not ranked. They're close to being ranked. They're looking good and everything. And then they play North Carolina, and then
it
they
gets,
lose.
yeah, it gets bad.
It happens every time.
Or
Minus-
2021, they drop it to Western Michigan and Georgia Tech. Yeah.
They didn't lose to Georgia Tech.
I don't think they
It was-
lost to Tech that year, but they did lose to Western Michigan.
God, who did they lose to? I know they.
You get the point.
Yeah, you get the point. And that was Kenny's Heisman year. But like, this happens every year, minus a couple years.
Last year.
And this is Pitt. Well, Drake May was a dog, so it's like that one I just threw out the window. But something just and like I say this all the time with Pitt. Like every time something sticks, something just seems different.
Mm-hmm.
Cade Bell, like I will repeat this until
Shout out Cade Bell.
Pat Narduzzi. If you don't keep Cade Bell, like
He might not be able to, quite frankly.
I don't even know. You better offer him the keys to the Cathedral of Learning.
Yeah.
That's huge.
But his offense, it's quick, go, fast. Gavin Bartholomew did an interview where they were like, what did you do in this huddle? And Gavin Bartholomew was like, I'm going to be totally honest, we barely huddle.
They
Because
don't.
They don't.
Really don't.
That's
that
the
much.
thing, because they don't, because it's quick, boom, go, go, go. And honestly, with Eli Holstein's, they talk about it all the time, maturity. Like, you have
they huddle to start the
Yeah.
drive, and then they get up.
Mm-hmm.
Eli gets up, gives checks, gives calls, and then they just.
You have the perfect quarterback for that system, for the quick, fast offense. So that's another guy you need to try to keep is Eli Holstein.
Yeah, that's going to be the tough part for Pitt, seriously, because I guarantee there's going to be some Power 5 schools that are going to be chomping at the bit for Cade Bell.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. And Eli Holstein.
Yeah. So.
Well, to be fair, there's a couple Power 5 schools
Actually-
that would literally sell a finger or two for a better quarterback. I'm looking at you, Florida State.
Oh, man. What a.
Poor Mike Norvell. I love him as a coach. He's great.
I'm not going to swear because I don't want extra work, but what a S show.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know how well you are aware of the new Pitt offense and everything, of how everything's going, but I guess that's basically the best we can try to explain is compared to the other years, They barely huddle. It's quick. Eli Holstein shows good resilience. Alex, is there anything like he's got a pretty good arm. He uses his feet when he has
Yeah, I haven't
to.
really seen him throw the ball deep a ton, but it seems strong enough.
It seems strong enough in everything.
Average to above average arm.
So this will be the last thing before we go to Edinburgh. I'm gonna go through each game so far for the rest of the year for Pitt, and let's hear it: win or loss.
Oh, let's do it. I love doing these.
Okay. At UNC.
I think that one's going to be closer than it should be, but I do think Pitt will win. I think that'll be kind of like an exercising of past demons for them, honestly. Especially at Chapel Hill. Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna go win too. With whatever knowledge.
Yeah, go for it. Go ahead.
What do you?
I would just go off the fact how UNC struggled against James Madison.
Yeah.
And but obviously they've got time to kind of adjust and whatnot. So.
Home against California.
Ooh, this is a weird one. I don't know much about Cal this year.
Right.
Quite frankly.
So here's the thing. I'm gonna go win, but there's a reason, and I'll tell you in a minute. So. Close but win.
I'm gonna go win for the exact reason that the Jags have their second home overseas. Jet lag. I'm gonna say Pitt wins the jet lag game.
So this is why I want to. I'm just gonna go right into it. Next game after that, Thursday night, 7:30 against Syracuse. This is the one. I've seen this Pitt scenario so many times.
Is it in Syracuse or is it?
It's in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I've seen this so many times.
It's not in the Carrier Dome. That's so sad.
They are gonna lose to Kyle McCord.
I'm gonna feel really bad as an Ohio State fan if you guys lose to Kyle McCord.
I'm telling you right now.
I'm gonna feel really bad.
I've seen this so many times. Take my word for it. I've seen it so many times with Pitt. Like they lose a big night game they should have won, and.
Nah, I'm gonna give it to them.
If it's at home though, that makes a big difference.
True. I'm gonna say Pitt does it.
Okay. At SMU, I don't really know much about
SMU. Is the Preston Stone game? SMU, sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
Taking the Mustangs all day.
Yeah.
Give me those Mustangs.
Okay.
Gerald Ford Field.
Is that what they call it?
I think
Gerald
so.
Ford? Wow.
I think so. I can't remember for sure. I'll have to look it up.
But all right. The next three actually for me are gonna be quick. They're gonna beat Virginia. Actually, screw it. They're gonna beat Clemson. Screw it.
Ooh, that's
Screw it.
spicy.
Screw it. This
is it in Clemson?
No, in Pittsburgh.
It's in Pitt.
It's in Pittsburgh.
It's not in Death Valley.
This
okay.
is they always do this with a top 25 team. This is the one. They're going to beat Clemson, but they're going to lose to Louisville the next week. So, yeah, and then they're probably going to beat Boston College at Boston College. So.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Yep. That's Gerald J. Ford Stadium.
Wow.
Yeah. There we go. But yeah.
Go Mustangs,
so,
baby.
For Pitt, if you put me on the spot and say, what do they have to do to continue this? Just keep doing what you're doing. Quick offense, keep going. Defense is still a little iffy, but.
God, it is a sick stadium too. It's the Half Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
In University Park, Texas.
But yeah. So Alex, it's time to go to Edinburgh.
Yeah. Okay. Guess it's that time.
Stinger,
big time. Edinburgh lost at home to Bloomsburg on Saturday noon kickoff, 32-27. Some pretty. I'll start with the good things. There's some silver lining to this game. Ike played really well, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how many passes he threw until I did the stats for this game. He was 30 for 46. He threw 46 passes on Saturday. He was 30 for 46, 339, 3 touchdowns and a pick. And honestly, the pick's kind of fluky. I didn't really think it was. He threw a slot fade to Ricky Gladden. The DB that was covering him was just taller than him, and he just out-jumped him for the ball. Like, it's a good shot. We hit that shot, we hit that shot on the first drive to Teagan for 40, and then we hit that same shot to Zay Greer the other way towards the end of the game for a touchdown. So it was a shot that I would have taken. It's a shot that I take in college football 25 every time it's on the field.
Shout out Elo.
Elo had a big touchdown to give us the lead back with a minute left. O-line only gave up 2 sacks. I mean, there was some pressure, but, Isaac only got sacked twice. Only serious problem for offensively was we couldn't get the run going.
Right.
And that was the only thing. Averaged 1.5 yards per carry on the ground, which sucked. Penalties were bad too, 11 for 139. I think some of those were a little sketchy, but I'm not one to complain about penalties. They happen and you need to fix them. So I won't harp on penalties too much, even if I think a couple of them were meh.
Yeah,
Shout out Corey. You know exactly what I'm talking about if you watch the game.
You don't want to get fined like Pat Narduzzi did after
No.
the West Virginia game.
And honestly, probably the biggest thing in this game, I mean, 27 points, especially in the PSAC. The PSAC's a very tough conference to play in. Right. Super Region 1. We have a lot of defensive football teams out here, but a lot of games, 27 points could be enough for you to win a football game. And honestly, it should have definitely been more. Because we had our first 2 drives of the game were a turnover on downs on 4th and 2, and then a fumble at the 1-yard line that, well, really shouldn't have been a fumble, but again, not one to complain about officiating. So 2 crucial goal line stands from Bloom. They really picked it up in the second half, put up 25 points. I think it was 12-7 at halftime, right?
I think so, something like that.
So, yeah, they won 32-27, so they put up 25 in the second half. Their run game started getting going, and, reloading for a fun – it is going to be – as much as it's going to be a tough one, this is a fun one. At Slip, 6 p.m. for their town festival weekend thing.
Oh, yeah, it's not homecoming.
No, it's like their town festival. I forget what it's called, but it's like a huge thing for the whole town. So 6 p.m. everyone's going to be there. If you have means to get there, do it. It's not really far. It's like 45 minutes from here. So
yeah, it's not bad.
Pull up, night game, 3rd one of the year.
Yeah, the only reason why I'm not going is because I'm gonna have a lot of driving for AEW next week. So
yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah, and I also have a doubleheader baseball game the next morning. So,
Jeez.
Yeah.
What a weekend.
But yeah. So before we get to the NFL stuff, I will, because obviously, as everybody knows, you're Adam Rowe alum. We talked about it a lot the last time you were on. The new turf is just so nice.
Oh, it is. It's a beautiful field, and I was so honored that Dr. Robbins and her team asked me to come down and be a part of that that first night. It was great. The crowd was amped up, and it was a great atmosphere, and definitely something this community should be proud of.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Now, funny little story before we move on. When the game started, and there obviously what changed was playing the music and stuff, and then the constant announcing and everything. I thought that was you.
Oh.
I thought that was you.
Yeah, no.
Okay, listen, can I say something real quick before we...
Oh, God. Am I going to have to cut this out?
No.
Okay.
That music during the game cannot be that loud.
I agree.
I was sitting up on top of the away press box, right? I was up in that crow's nest thing, and I do the film stuff for us, and I have a headset on so that if the film gets messed up, I can communicate with the coaches. I had my headset on with my volume up all the way, and I still could not hear anything through my headset.
Because of the music?
Over the music.
I remember there was, during one of the, which by the way, every time there's a challenge, it's like, oh, here we go, the ref's got to run all the way to the challenge booth, get the challenge.
Oh my God, the
run
fumble
all
took
the way back.
so long to review.
Oh my God. But we do want to clarify, it's Gabe's dad that does the announcing, right? Or is it somebody?
I think it was Gabe's dad.
There was a player's dad that is.
Yeah, it was Hulse's dad, yeah.
I want to make it clear, he does a great job.
Shout out him.
It's just the music.
Love that man.
It's just the music. That is
Love the chants that he had going. It was great. The crowd interaction was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, but funny thing is there was one funny thing with two funny things with the music before we move on. One, during the challenge, the music was still playing and the ref was ready to talk, and Dolph turned around. He's like, "Turn it off."
Yeah.
And then the other one, they started playing Cult of Personality, and I texted him. I said, "FCM Punk."
Yeah, that was funny because I knew you were gonna do that.
You knew.
I knew as soon as it started playing, I was like, "Oh God, here we go."
Which since the last time you were on, speaking of CM Punk, during the WWE.
Yeah, he did.
He's bounced around a little bit.
Yeah, I give him about a year before he gets into a fight and gets fired again. But all right.
Well, the thing with Drew has to.
Yeah.
They've got to put the end to that one pretty soon.
Which obviously, if you think that the Punk and Drew thing is great, good. Wrestling's about different tastes. You're gonna like some things. You're not gonna like. That's why when I see these podcasters, they're like, "This is bad. This is why AEW sucks." Like, that's just your opinion.
Right.
Like I like that. Like just because it's different. Like it's
And that's what makes, since speaking of wrestling specifically, that's what makes it great.
Yeah.
Is that it's a story that's interpreted and looked at by a million different eyes in a million different ways.
Right.
And that's the beauty of it is all that. So
that's why it's called entertainment.
thank you.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. But I do want to clarify too. Alex and I don't like Phil Brooks, but CM Punk is CM Punk. And I do have a confession to make. Alex, I don't think I told you this. 6th grade for Halloween,
Oh yeah, I know that.
I was CM Punk. I had
Really?
I had the X's on
boy.
my thing.
See, when I was a kid, it was always Macho Man for me. So,
Oh.
sixth grade me was Macho Man.
Yeah.
7th grade me, 8th grade me. I mean, it's still up to this day.
Yeah.
It's hard to top the. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the 3 years in a row, I was John Cena. A couple of years, I had the WWE spinner belt.
Oh, you had a
and
spinner?
everything. Yep,
Nice.
Yep.
Those things were sick.
But yeah, I actually got back into WWE a little more because I figured, well, first of all, I wanted to get back into it. Like, if this is the last time I'm going to see Cena, it's my childhood. Like, I gotta watch
Yeah,
it.
he announces his farewell tour, and it's like, and then he said farewell. Like, we're like you, like.
Yeah. So apparently he means like he's done at the end of 2025.
Yeah.
is
So
what I'm
whatever. Yeah.
understanding.
So he'll do events and
go.
have his moments, but.
There we go. All right, Alex. NFL, and we're starting off with a couple points. We don't have to get into depth into it because I do want to spend some time on the Steelers. Will Levis bad, Malik Willis good. That's what I have on the prompter. Yeah, I'm sorry. You got to bench Will Levis right now, and you got to roll with Mason Rudolph.
I don't know. Callahan's really sticking by him, but I mean,
You got to at least try Mason Rudolph.
when you've got a still image every week of the season so far of Will Levis committing some egregious turnover.
My favorite one is he had his hands on his head.
He's just
like,
sitting there
"No!"
like-
and then one of him diving.
The one from this week is probably the funniest. It's him on his back with a dude on top of his head and the ball just like behind him. Wait, I gotta pull it up.
Oh
I
my
got
God.
to. It's so funny. But this is what I mean. When you've got one every single week of the season, so here it is.
Oh my god.
Every single week. It's just a still of him on the ground committing an egregious turnover. It's so
gosh.
bad. Like,
Oh my gosh. So yeah, but Malik Willis revenge game. But
let's go.
But,
Shout out Liberty Flames.
yes. Who's the coach that went to Liberty for Edinburgh?
Coach Fern.
Fern.
He was the QC there, I think. I believe he was a QC there for a little while.
So Red Rocket. Yeah.
Yeah.
Red Rocket.
Shout out Andy Dalton.
Which so
I like
here.
the hair.
Yeah. So
Right?
Yeah.
So we'll ask Sean. We'll ask you this question real quick. So last week, I was in the penalty box because I dropped an F-bomb.
Shocker.
And we're talking about Bryce Young, right? And Alex goes, "Yeah, Dom, I just don't think he's gonna make it to the bye." And then I use we call ourselves EVPs. I use my power and I go, I gotta come back for this. I got some breaking news. I come back, camera goes to me and I go, the Panthers have officially benched Bryce Young because after he said that,
Literally
2 minutes
like
later,
2 minutes
Is that
the
right?
announcement came out.
2
Yeah.
minutes after I
Yes.
said that.
Wow.
Swear to God, did not edit it to make it look that way.
2 minutes
It
after I said
actually
Bryce
happened
wouldn't
that.
make it to the bye, we got the news that he got benched.
He got benched.
Yeah, but what's your overall thoughts on Bryce Young getting? It's just a terrible situation for him.
It is, but again, he's young. You got to let him let him grow in the role, and it's again you're going to have these guys coming in that are going to take off, and the other guys that they're not, and it's going to be all right. I think he's going to be under some good tutelage for a while, and really learn the ins and outs of the game, and then and see where it takes him. But his career is literally just getting going, so he's good.
Right. Not going to spend time on this, but I do want to mention it. CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott were caught in an argument during the Ravens' loss. Yeah. Anyway, Steelers 3-0. Let's go. I was at the game yesterday.
I don't know how.
Yeah, it's the most Pittsburgh Steeler way. I don't know how. That's the
I'll
most.
tell you how. I'll tell you how. Mike, scroll down a little bit more. Scroll down.
Yeah.
Yeah, TJ Watt is still the man. So I was at the game, club seats, first
Exactly,
row.
yeah.
No big deal.
That's sweet.
So the Steelers did win 20-10. By the way, the Steelers touchdown song. I forgot how. I honestly forget how it goes, but like, oh, I love it. But yeah, so Justin Herbert was 12 for 18, 125 yards, 1 touchdown. He was limping off. After one sack, I think he was sacked. He was caught limping off the field.
Did a high ankle sprain?
Yeah, then Harbaugh was like, yeah, you're done. You're done. But Justin Fields, okay, I was going to ask this question this week, but like I'm not going to ask it because I'm just going to say it. Russell Wilson, unless Justin Fields gets hurt, is not going to see the field as a Steeler.
He shouldn't.
He shouldn't.
Honestly, he really...
Listen.
You've got a young guy who's playing well,
Yeah.
who could potentially... you could give a contract to and secure some future.
Well, you
with
heard
him.
Tony yesterday in the broadcast saying Pittsburgh finally found their quarterback,
Right.
and take that for what it's worth. But
Yeah, well, here's the thing. In my opinion, is he playing like an elite level quarterback like Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes?
No.
No. But here's the thing. If you're a Pittsburgh Steeler and you can find a way, then you're a Pittsburgh Steeler. That's the best way of looking at it.
All the Steelers need with the current team they have is... I don't even want to say top 16 quarterback. They need like top 20 quarterback play right now to be a good football team.
Exactly.
he's got good weapons to throw it to, and you got Najee doing his thing. So
Yeah.
Considering statistically last year it was like bottom 4 performance, like anywhere in that range of being like a middle of the pack quarterback will be fine.
Right. But here's the thing though. Justin Fields still did his job and he looked well. And here's the thing. Like,
He threw a lot more balls than he normally does too.
so beginning of the year, okay, before they got Fields, went on the roster that
Shout out to Bailey for calling that.
yeah,
still.
Bailey, I will admit, the last time Bailey was on Tailgate Talks, she did call
Called it on what, the
Justin
Super Bowl
Fields.
Super Bowl review episode, I think.
Yeah. Go back on it. Bailey did call it that Justin Fields was going to be a Steeler, and here we are. So, the week before Kenny got traded, it was Russell Wilson. When they got Russell Wilson, Kenny was out of there, and they got Justin Fields. It was Russell Wilson. During camp in preseason, it was Russell Wilson. There was no competition. Now, here's the thing. There still should be no competition. However, the roles are reversed. Justin Fields is your guy. Saying it here right now. But so Justin Fields was 25 for 32, 245 yards, 1 touchdown, and a pick, but that was it was tipped. And then they just caught it. My head was actually, I was looking at my phone, so I actually did miss the pick. But yeah, Najee had 18 carries for 70 yards, and Calvin Austin got the ball 4 times for 95 yards.
What was that, like a 55-yard touchdown that he busted?
Yep. Awesome in person. So from my point of view, I'm going to read these points, and then we can talk about it before we get into rapid fire. But from my point of view, by the way, don't know the status on Alex Highsmith, but though when he did get pulled and I saw him come out of the tent, he was like slamming equipment, so that's kind of makes me seem in my head, I'm thinking like that's a little concerning. But Nick Herbig, in person, he's not that big, but man, when that ball snaps, he's quick.
He has a really good get off.
Oh my God, he's quick. We already mentioned T.J. Watt's the man. Not surprising at all. So Najee, I thought played well, but there was a little things I noticed, and I could be wrong about this, and it could just be like just the nature of football and just like whatever he was feeling that yesterday. But when he wouldn't get much on plays and carries, he would just look down and disappoint. And like you look down, and that happens in sports anyway. Like it doesn't go your way, you look down and everything. But like this, like you can tell, like, man, this contract is really like.
I was gonna say that's like the
head.
body language of someone who's playing for a new contract, for sure.
It is really in his head, is what I noticed. But yeah. So honestly, like if you keep playing Pittsburgh Steelers football, and you get to the tough stretch. But here's the thing. I'm actually gonna say my upset alert for one of the games in the future, and I'm not gonna change it at all. My upset alert for when they play the Chiefs on Christmas. I'm picking the Steelers. Hear me out. 2 years ago, Christmas, what happened?
Was that the Franco Harris game?
Kenny threw the game-winning touchdown to George Pickens. By the way, and I want to clarify, he was not good that game. However, still though, game winner.
That was 2 years ago. Holy cow.
yeah, you said 2 years, and wow.
last year what happened on Christmas
Oh, which game was that?
against the Bengals at home.
Oh, that was the Mason Rudolph legacy game, wasn't
Yep,
it?
Mason Rudolph. So I think on Christmas that's the Steelers game, and I
How
think
did
that
the next segment get entirely in French? by
I
the way?
have no idea, but
Glad you asked.
I didn't put it that
Wasn't
way.
sure where we were going with
I
that,
noticed
but
But
you
no,
looking
it's the
at that,
prompter.
too.
Yeah, no, it's the prompter. Right, Richie? Right, Richie? If he's still even in there, I don't even think
Nope.
he's in there.
Nope.
No, it's just Joe. But yeah. So I think the Steelers will get it done there, but that's later down the line. But they got the Colts this week, and yeah. So let's get right into it. Now I need to look on my phone for some upsets because I don't know who's what.
All right, I'll open up with mine while you're doing that. We picked some pretty big upsets technically the second and third week of the season because we didn't do this for week 1. But week 2 and 3, we all picked some pretty big upset alerts, all like 5, 6, 7 point dogs. Those have actually hit at a pretty good rate. Mine is actually, speaking of which, Dom and Mike's upset alerts both hit again. Mine is still to be dated because Jacksonville plays at Buffalo tonight at 7:30 p.m. So we will see if my upset alert hits as well. But his was Vikings over Texans, and holy cow, did the Vikings win by the definition of winning outright. And so did the Panthers. The Panthers obliterated the Raiders. So that is, I believe, 8.5 points for you and 9.5 points for Dom. So.
Right.
And mine was an opening line of +6 for Jacksonville, so we will see.
Yeah, but you already have it ready to go.
Hopefully I don't steal anyone else's, but I will be taking a much more modest upset alert pick this week because I think it's honestly pretty chalk. From what I know, Jordan Love, still hurt.
Okay.
Vikings on the road in Green Bay, +2.5. That's a layup. Give me it. I'll take it. Honestly, I was going to take a bigger one, but I really didn't like the matchups for this week. So we're going to take Vikings over Pack, +2.5. We'll see how it goes.
Sean, you can go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Oh, you're seeing if I'm
'Cause
going to steal.
I don't really know a whole lot of what I'm seeing here, so.
So
Joe, you can come back to the line.
So this week I'm going to do this. Last 2 weeks I had some balls go with that. I'm going to go with the safe pick this week. I'm going to go +2 Buffalo over the Ravens.
Ooh, I do like that.
Okay, wait, I got to write it down real quick.
I do like that.
Um,
I will actually write yours down right
so
now.
who did you pick again, Alex?
Green Bay, Minnesota.
Vikings over the Packers, yeah.
Okay. And I went Buffalo. Where are they at?
So you said Buffalo over.
The Ravens, yeah.
Nothing else really even stands out.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Like, I was sitting there and I was like, do I really want to take Broncos +7 against the Jets? No.
Yeah, you don't. It's yeah, I feel like, I don't know, this week, like, laptop went off, but that's
Sorry, we couldn't read it anyway.
It's good.
That's bad.
Because it's in French. Or yeah, was that in French?
Yeah,
I
it was
already-
definitely in
I
French.
was gonna say I already forgot.
Yeah, so I'll just I'll refrain. Nothing really jumps out and says.
Yeah, there's not a lot of great picks this
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
Not a lot of great picks.
Right. Okay, so
Besides, you guys have your competition. I'm just
That's
just
okay.
a bystander that was about to be forced to speak French.
But yeah, so Alex and Dom's game actually is still to be determined. So it's because, of course, Alex's upset is the Jags, and that's still to be determined if he even gets that right.
And Dom
Then
took Buffalo. I
Buffalo,
assume.
yeah, and then Alex picked the Bengals, and then Dom picked the Commanders. So they could still tie and whatever.
Oh, that's right. It's a doubleheader tonight, isn't it?
Yeah. So
shoot.
I won. I beat Haley. Right now, 10-8. By the way, they're
0-2 beat 2-0.
By the way, Dom is up 8-7 right now on Alex. Emma beat AJ, so the girl that started that had the worst record last year is 3-0 now. That was 7-6
Worst
as of
first.
right now, and then Bryce, as of right now, is beating EJ. Well, will win, but right now the score is 8-7. So here's everybody's picks right here. I love in post editing. But okay. So Cowboys and Giants, and I made sure to put your name here first.
Okay, right on.
I'll send you a text of how you do.
I appreciate that.
Next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, so first game, Cowboys and Giants.
You know, I shouldn't hesitate over this one, but I feel a little bad for Cleveland losing to Danny Dimes yesterday. That's kind of rough.
It is the Cowboys and the Giants though. And every
Yeah, the
time I see
Cowboys
this-
really-
I think the Cowboys are due for one just to
Yeah.
kind of.
And the Cowboys scheme up ridiculously well against the Giants too. So I'll take the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go with the Cowboys. All right, Saints and Falcons.
Oh God.
Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Saints as well. Okay, Rams and Bears.
Oh.
In Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh. Rams defense is banged up. Caleb looked a lot better against Indy yesterday.
Bears.
Yeah, give me the Chicago Bears.
Down Bears.
The Bears.
I'm gonna go with the Rams. All right, next, Alex, this doesn't apply to you since you already answered it. Vikings and Packers. I'm gonna go with the Packers.
I think the train's still running in Minnesota. Vikes.
Yeah, give them those purple people eaters.
Sorry, Sammy Darnold. I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at what Alex just said. Steelers and Colts. The train continues.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Though Lucas Oil.
Colts can't stop the run for the life of them right now, so
Right.
might be a Najee legacy game.
Indianapolis Colts. Turn the Lucas Oil Stadium sign brightness down, please.
Sign's really bright.
Broncos and Jets. Jets.
Yep. Aaron Rodgers is starting to look sharp again.
Eagles and Bucks.
Oh, I know which pick I want to make, but I don't know if I should. Trying to have some cogent analysis and legitimate.
I don't know.
What happened with the Bucks yesterday? Oh, they got hammered yesterday,
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
they? By Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got hammered by Denver like 34-7 yesterday, or like 26-3 or something. It was bad.
I think this is gonna be a bounce back win for Philly.
Yeah, I agree.
For Philly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little sour.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts' revenge game against the Buccaneers. Don't be fooled. I still don't like Nick Sirianni, but
Bengals and Panthers.
Oh boy.
Sorry,
Joe
Red.
Burrow getting back on track.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something's got to give there. So.
Sorry, Red Rocket. You're gonna lose.
Oh, it could be an Andy Dalton revenge game. It could be an Andy Dalton
That's
revenge game,
true.
but I'm still taking the Bengals.
Yeah, Bengals.
Yeah. Jags and Texans. It's gonna be a bounce back win for the Texans.
Yeah, I think they get right back on track. I like the Jags, but that was actually almost my upset pick this week. But I'm gonna stick with CJ.
Yep.
You going
Houston as well.
Commanders and Cardinals.
Give me the Cardinals.
Yeah.
The frisky Cardinals.
Give me the Cardinals.
My one buddy is the announcer for the Commanders, so I'm gonna go watch
Yeah.
him on this one. Show love.
Shout out to DC.
There we go. Patriots, 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is that opening line's like +10 right now.
Jeez.
Well,
Well, -10, but you know.
I think Browns and Raiders.
yeah,
Oh, that's gonna be an ugly
Yeah,
one.
Browns and Raiders. Yeah,
Browns.
I'm gonna go with the Browns too. Well, Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust Gardner Minshew against the Cleveland defense.
How many times did Deshaun Watson fumble yesterday?
he was sacked 8 times.
God.
Two, at least 2 fumbles.
I'm gonna go ahead and write Chiefs down for Chiefs and Chargers.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
This doesn't apply to me. Bills and Ravens.
Where is this? Is this in
It's
Baltimore?
in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sunday night football.
Oh, it's gonna be a good one.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna take a wild guess and say Dolphins for everybody against the Titans.
Mm-hmm. That's safe.
Is this a Skylar Thompson game?
Ooh, good. Ooh, he's
It's a Will Levis game. I'm taking the
Yeah.
Dolphins.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though the Dolphins scored 3 points yesterday against Seattle, but still.
Yeah, true.
We
true.
forgot Seahawks Lions.
Really?
Doubleheader on Monday night.
Ooh, another Monday night doubleheader. These are so weird.
Oh. You said Seahawks and Lions.
In Detroit
Oh,
on ABC.
come on. Give me goofball.
Let's
yeah,
go.
I'm going to go with the Lions.
Detroit.
Yep.
Motor City Kitties, baby.
Motor City Kitties. I love that.
I'm going to pray to God that is the only game I forgot to write down.
I think you got them all covered.
Well, here's the thing. I think the ESPN app was in French, so that's probably why I
Oh,
forgot.
what is it with this French stuff today?
I'm kidding. But yeah, Sean, thanks for coming on again.
Yeah, guys.
Best of luck for the Cavs this season.
Oh,
Yeah, we can revisit midway if you want.
Oh, absolutely.
Kind of see how things are progressing, and then you guys can come and join me at the parade next June.
that'd be great.
After graduation, come
Yes.
on over.
That'd be great.
Yes. And then we'll do a Tailgate Talks live from the. I'm just kidding.
You can do that.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Tailgate Talks live from the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. I almost said Quicken Loans Arena.
You could, but
Yeah, so next week is the bye for Edinburgh, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. I'll continue to do previews for soccer and football. Yeah, take it away. I think I put there you go. You have the ball.
Good night, America.
Oh, got it!
Come on!
He got it. He's
let's go. Let's
Come
go.
on!
impressed.
It almost stuck, too.